And there's a travel as Ariana Harris just kind of discontinued her dribble and then decided to keep going towards the rim, changed her mind mid-dribble, and so Purdue turns it over now for the 4th time.
They just keep feeding that post.
They've been working down low in most of their possessions in the first 7 minutes of the ball game. Berger, she gets into the lane, and she gets fouled by Ariana Harris, which is her first, and that's been the difference so far. For Indiana, it's been attacking off the dribble by the guards, and for Purdue, it's just solid post feeds. So 2 different styles clashing up against each other here in the first quarter.
Yeah, you can see it the last couple possessions. Indiana's drove hard to the basket, and it's paid off for them now at the free throw line is Berger.
So Berger at the stripe for the third and fourth attempts, rather, of the evening. She's good on the first one. Chanel Wilson checked in at the last timeout for Indiana, the redshirt freshman from Powder Springs, Georgia. Medical redshirt last year after tearing her ACL in high school. And she's played significant minutes at times this year, especially during the Berger injury. But they're both on the floor together now as Berger hits both, and Indiana has their largest lead at 3. McLaughlin got free for a triple try, but she can't get it to go, and Golbey has the Indiana rebound. And so Pat Berger cross-court pass to Grace Berger. Berger spin move into the lane, kicks it back out. Golbey a left wing 3. This one is high off the back rim, no good. Wise fighting for the rebound, and last touch by Dominique Oden. And the Purdue bench cannot believe it. Well, it certainly looked from our vantage point like it was off of Brenna Wise.
That's what I thought. But Indiana's going to keep it. They look good in transition, kind of getting a stop and then getting going towards the other end, and they look good.
Jory Allen, the 2019 Indiana Miss Basketball, checks into the game for the first time. Pat Berg keying it in on the inbounds play, gets it into Berger in the corner right in front of the Purdue bench. Berger between the leg dribble. Working on Oden, into the lane. A little 10-footer, no good off the back glass. And the rebound comes out of there to Lindsay Wilby for Purdue's into the game for the first time. Wilby gets it now in a post-feed entry pass. And stuffed by Alexa Golbey was Fatou Dion. The ball's on the floor now, and a jump ball is called, so it'll stay with Purdue. But Dion was denied in the paint by Golbey that time.
Yeah, she sent that one back. She's got good size at 6'3". Fatou, no slouch at 6'4". Actually, Alexa losing out of the height right there, but she sent that one right back.
Fatou, the redshirt junior from Chess, Senegal. Second player in Purdue history to play. And Jory Allen gets called for a foul right there, bumping Lindsay Wilby out of bounds after she stepped on the baseline. So it was right before she got checked out of bounds there. The foul goes on Allen. It's Indiana's second of the quarter. And Jalen Penn will check back into the game for IU, replacing Grace Berger.
It's good to see Allen and Chanel Wilson in this game because they haven't played a ton this year, but it's good to see them playing meaningful minutes right now.
McLaughlin catches the inbounds pass, gets into the quarter now to Traylor, who dribbles now back out toward the top of the key, gets a screen from Fatou, and McLaughlin couldn't find any help. Inside 10 seconds on the timer. Out to the left wing with Traylor. Traylor entry pass to Fatou, who travels with it before she put it on the floor. It's the second time that's happened in the post for Purdue, and Indiana's defense holds strong again.
Yeah, just getting that ball and just going too fast. You got to get your feet under you real quick.
Ricky Waltman into the game now for the first time. So appears like it's going to be a balanced effort off the bench for Purdue and trying to replace Tamara Farquhar.
That's what it's looking like. And Waltman at 6'4", it's an interesting player because if she can get going, it seems like she could be strong for Purdue going forward.
Inside of 2 minutes left in the opening quarter, Indiana on top 9-6. Not an offensive clinic, but both teams are fighting pretty hard. Chanel Wilson catches in front of Sharon Fursup on the Purdue bench in the right wing. Golbey cross-court pass to Pat Berg, reverses to Jalen Penn for a 3 try, and she buries it from the left wing.
That was a great offensive set by Indiana. The one more pass there to Jalen Penn, and she lit it up from 3.
Indiana on top 12-6 now, their largest lead at 6. It's been over 3 minutes since Purdue has scored. McLaughlin, it was silly bounce pass there to Traylor, kind of lazy, but Traylor gathers it anyway. McLaughlin comes off a screen, tries to answer with a 3 call of her own, can't get it to go. Rebound batted around and ripped out of there by Jory Allen for IU. It's a 2-on-1 with Wilson and Pat Berg. Pat Berg gets it in the lane. It scores off the glass.
Great pass by Chanel Wilson right there. He had the 2-on-1 and he found her.
So Indiana converts on the 2-on-1. And with under a minute to play here in the first quarter, Indiana's up 14-6. That's Wilby in the corner. There is absolutely zero movement right now in this possession for Purdue. Kind of looks like the Hoosiers of last night against Northwestern.
For sure.
This is McLaughlin, crossover dribble, gets herself into the lane, throws one up against Goldband, gets denied. Ball loose on the floor and picked up by Chanel Wilson for IU. They've got a 4-on-3. It's Goldband to the lane. Bounce pass underneath to Allen, but it slips through her fingertips and out of bounds. It'll go back to Purdue.
Good idea. Maybe one too many passes, but you like the idea that IU's look good in transition, so you can live with that. Purdue, they need to score pretty soon before this thing gets to double digits.
Kiana Worthen gets her first action of the game, replacing Pat Bird, making sure she doesn't pick up a foul right before the end of the quarter. That's a good sub by Terry Morin. Indiana, an 8-point lead with 15 seconds to play. Purdue can hold for the last shot, and it appears they will. Trailer, guarded by Chanel Wilson, and Wilson picks up a silly foul right before the end of the quarter. There's a handoff to Hayes Benefield, who gains the edge and gets outside. Gets about 4 on the play before he's shoved out. Not a bad run on first down, and Eastern Illinois, after the 4th down conversion, looking for more pace to its offense. We've only seen them have one sustained drive to this point, and it ended in a punt right about this point in the field in the first half.
Yeah, Glue Bryant did a good job that time. It looked like Hayes Benefield was going to be able to set the edge, but Bryant just barely forced him out of bounds there for just a positive gain.
Snap back and handoff for the Panthers. Knocked down by Raekwon Jones. It was Darshawn McCullough who's back in the game. Again, did not play last week, so getting his first start of the 2019 campaign. And gets to the 40-yard line where the Panthers will have a 3rd and 4.
James Head checks back into the ball game, trying to add a little bit of beef to a pass rush here.
East Illinois was 12 for 21 on 4th downs last year. That's 57%. Indiana gave up 48%, 14 of 29. Brantley checks his receivers, 3 to the left. And McCullough back there with him in the backfield. Brantley calls for the snap, looks for the option, and gets stuffed in the middle of the field inside. Marcelino Ball in there on the tackle for Indiana.
Marcelino Ball, haven't called his name too much today, but he hasn't made mistakes like he did last week, so he's had a better week just from that standpoint.
It's actually James Miller who had the tackle inside, as he had 4 tackles and half of a sack last week. Good week for him last week at Ball State after playing in just 3 games last year. And it is Josh Delgado on to punt the ball away again, as they will not try to go for it on this 4th and 5 on the IU 41-yard line. And Delgado's punt is away, punts it towards the end zone. This one actually might reach the end zone. Bouncing near the 1, and a nice save that time by special teams. Batted back out right before it got to the end zone, and so Indiana will have it on their own 4. Really nice play that time by special teams coverage.
Yeah, that's by far the best punt of the day that we've seen from Delgado, and that was a phenomenal play on the goal line to save it from going in the back of the end zone.
Well, it only went for 37 yards, but very effective. Indiana backed up inside their own 5 when we come back. 10:26 left in the 3rd quarter. Indiana holding a 35-0 lead over Eastern Illinois. Back in a minute. This is Indiana football on WIUX, your home for Hoosier sports. More of your traditional penalties, so to speak. No late hits or unsportsmanlike like we saw from Marcelino Ball on defense last week. Ramsey takes the snap on 1st and 15 and throws outside to Peyton Hendershot. Cuts back inside and lowers his shoulder, pushed forward by a couple of EIU defenders. And he picks up 12 yards on that 1st and 15.
It's been cool to see how big of a jump Hendershot has taken in the receiving
Yeah,
end.
absolutely.
A lot of that is scheme-driven because Mike DeBoer didn't really feature the tight ends, but they also just didn't trust Hendershot in the passing game last year. He didn't give them much of a reason for the Hoosier coaching staff to trust him. Such a big jump he's made this year.
So now it brings up 2nd and short for the Hoosiers. Ramsey throws out here to Fillier, and he gets a little block and thrown forward for a 1st down, as finally he is brought down. Ty Freifogel in there with a block. So a lot of starters still for Indiana here on this opening drive.
Yeah, that is surprising to me, especially that they took Penix out. Would think it wouldn't take too much longer before they start making it a little bit difficult, when they get beyond that too deep.
8:10 left in this 3rd quarter. No scoring so far in the second half. Indiana holding a 35-point lead. Ramsey play action, throws left and deep and caught by Donovan Hale, who is still on his feet across the 45 into Panther territory. Big gain that time for the Hoosiers as they move the chains again.
And that's about as far as you'll see Ramsey throw a football. As you can see, he took a lot of girth there to make sure he got that one far enough and still slightly underthrew Hale. But really good adjustment there by the senior to be able to make the catch.
Yeah, and still making defenders miss after he turned and gained some yards after the catch. 27 yards on that pitch and catch.
I like this two-back set they're in right now, especially with all the talented running backs they have.
Ball on the Eastern Illinois 43. Ramsey looks, throws deep. He's got a wide open man in Donovan Hale, and he will trot into the end zone for 6.
Coverage bust that time. There wasn't anyone within 30 yards of Donovan Hale. And you can talk about Ramsey and the weakness with the arm strength anyways. I think you or I could have made that pass out.
No doubt about it.
That was wide open. Good job, though, by Ramsey to make sure he didn't overthink it, put the ball right on the money for Hale to make the play.
Well, Hale will never score an easier touchdown than that right there. So back-to-back throws to Hale for 27 and 43 yards on that drive. And Justice will come on to cap things off with an extra point. And Indiana goes on top 42-0 after a 6-play, 96-yard drive in 3 minutes and 7 seconds. That will take us to a media timeout. Indiana on top 42-0. This is Indiana football on WIUX, your home for Hoosier Sports.
All right, thank you, Ethan. And we got an update on that Evansville game. That's been the most entertaining game of the evening across the country right now. Evansville still leading 56-53 over the top-ranked team of the nation. 6:12 to go in Lexington should make for a terrific finish. Duke still taking care of Central Arkansas, 89-42, just under 8 to go in that one. And in the Big Ten, the final now out of Ann Arbor, Michigan takes down Creighton 79-69 to even the Gavitt games at 1 game apiece each for the Big East and for the Big Ten. The Big Ten, by the way, has never lost the Gavitt games in the short 4-year history of the event. The Pacers now hold an 80-58 lead, pulling away from the Thunder late in the third quarter. That's your studio update. We'll get you back out to 17th Street after this break. This is Indiana basketball on WIUX. All right, thank you, Wax. We got a lot of action to talk about right now. Kentucky and Louisville are knotted at 70, and as we speak, Kentucky is hitting free throws. They just take the lead by 1 with under 30 seconds remaining in overtime. Obviously, a whole lot going on at Assembly Hall. Sounds like an excellent crowd right now. We've got a lot to talk about in football as well. Earlier today, you had Penn State defeating Memphis, a good win for the Big Ten, 53-39 in the Cotton Bowl. And in the Camping World Bowl, Notre Dame took care of Iowa State 33-9. And once again, at halftime, top-ranked LSU taking care of business. It is 49-14 at the break. Unbelievable score there. I hope you picked the over in that one. If so, you might be making money. We'll get you back out to Sam Wexler in just a moment. But right now, let's take a quick break. You're listening to Indiana Women's Basketball on WIUX.